My beloved brothers and sisters, many hearts today are restless, many souls are searching. We ask ourselves again and again, is this the one? Is this from Allah, or is this just my desire? And sometimes we become exhausted, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But remember one thing, Allah is not a Lord of confusion. Allah is a Lord of clarity. When something is truly meant for you, Allah does not push you into chaos. He does not suffocate your heart. He does not require you to disobey Him in order to keep someone close. When the right person is near, Allah makes it clear, gently, beautifully, and wisely. One of the first signs is peace in the heart. Not excitement alone, not butterflies that disappear after a while, but a deep sense of calm. Even when challenges arise, your heart does not feel uneasy. You are not constantly afraid of losing them. Why? Because what is written for you cannot miss you, and what is not written for you can never stay, no matter how tightly you hold on. Another sign is ease after sincere du'a. You pray istikhara. You ask Allah, if this is good for me, make it easy. And if it is bad for me, remove it from my life. And then you step back. You don't force outcomes. You don't manipulate situations. And suddenly doors begin to open or they gently close. That itself is an answer. Allah speaks through outcomes, not just feelings. When the right person is near, your relationship with Allah improves. You become more conscious of your prayers. You are more careful with your words. You feel encouraged to become better, not pressured to become less religious. Anyone who pulls you away from Allah is never a gift from Allah, no matter how attractive they appear. You will also notice clarity without compromise. You don't have to lie to your parents. You don't have to hide conversations. You don't have to cross boundaries and then beg Allah for forgiveness every night. What is pure comes with transparency. What is written comes with dignity. Another sign is consistency. The right person is not hot today and cold tomorrow. Not present when it suits them and absent when it doesn't. Stability is a blessing. Drama is not love. Confusion is not romance. Allah gives tranquility, not turbulence. And sometimes Allah shows His sign through others around you. Advice comes from unexpected people. Circumstances align without struggle. Even obstacles turn into stepping stones. This is Allah saying, I am guiding you. So my dear brothers and sisters, stop chasing what makes you anxious. Stop begging for what requires you to lose yourself. Make dua, trust Allah, and walk away from what hurts your faith. Because when the right person is near, you won't have to convince your heart, your mind, or your Lord. Allah will make it clear in ways more beautiful than you ever imagined. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest gifts Allah places in the heart of a believer is sakina, a deep settling peace that cannot be explained by logic alone. When the right person is near, this peace quietly replaces confusion. You may not even notice it at first because it does not arrive with noise or drama. It comes softly like a calm after a storm, and suddenly you realize that your heart is no longer restless the way it once was. So many people mistake anxiety for love. They think that constant overthinking, fear of loss, and emotional turbulence are signs of attachment. But Islam teaches us that what comes from Allah brings tranquility, not turmoil. When something is written for you, it does not keep your heart on edge every moment. You do not wake up daily questioning where you stand, or whether today you will be valued and tomorrow ignored. Instead, there is emotional stability. Even when challenges appear, your heart feels anchored, not shaken. This inner peace does not mean the absence of tests. Life will always have ups and downs, but the difference is in how your heart responds. With the right person near, your soul feels safe. You do not feel the need to constantly prove your worth or compete for attention. You are not drained by endless doubts. You feel seen without begging, heard without shouting, and respected without demanding. That calm is a sign of Allah's guidance. Many hearts today are exhausted because they are chasing what unsettles them. They stay attached to people who leave them confused, emotionally insecure, and spiritually drained. And they ask Allah to bless what is harming them. But Allah, in His mercy, allows discomfort as a warning. Restlessness is often a signal, not a test of patience. When your heart cannot find peace, it is sometimes Allah protecting you from what is not meant to stay. When the right person is near, you notice that your thoughts become clearer. You are not constantly anxious about the future. You are not afraid of abandonment at every disagreement. Your heart trusts without being reckless. This calm is not blindness, it is confidence placed in Allah. You understand that what is written will remain and what is not will leave without breaking you. There is also a spiritual calm that accompanies this peace. Your du'a no longer feels desperate. You are not begging Allah in tears every night just to keep someone from leaving. Instead, you find yourself saying, "Oh Allah, if this is good for me, allow it to remain. And if it is not, remove it gently." That shift in du'a is powerful. It shows that your heart is no longer attached to people more than it is attached to Allah. Remember, Allah places peace in what is halal, clean and sincere. The heart recognizes truth even when the mind is confused. That is why you must listen to the state of your heart, not just the intensity of your emotions. Excitement fades, attraction fluctuates, but peace settles and stays. So if you find that your heart is calm, your faith is steady, and your soul is not constantly fighting itself, be grateful. This is not coincidence, this is guidance. And if you do not feel this peace, do not panic. Thank Allah for showing you early signs, because when the right person is near, Allah does not confuse your heart, He reassures it. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most merciful gifts Allah has given this ummah is the ability to place our confusion directly in His hands through du'a and istikhara. When the heart is unsure and the mind is overwhelmed, Allah does not leave us to guess. He teaches us to pray, to ask, and then to trust. And when something is truly good for you, Allah responds not always with words or dreams, but with ease. After sincere istikhara, you may notice that matters begin to unfold naturally. You are not forcing conversations. You are not chasing replies. You are not manipulating situations or bending yourself out of shape just to keep someone interested. Things simply progress. Opportunities align. Barriers fall without struggle. This ease is not random. It is Allah guiding you gently toward what is written. Many people expect istikhara to come with a sign in the sky or a sudden feeling of excitement. But Islam teaches us something far deeper. Allah answers by directing your path. If something is good for you, He makes it accessible. If it is harmful, He places obstacles that cannot be ignored. And sometimes the obstacle itself is the mercy. What feels like disappointment today may be protection tomorrow. When the right person is near, you will feel a sense of relief after making du'a. The tightness in the chest begins to loosen. You are no longer obsessively checking outcomes. You stop replaying every conversation in your head. This calm is not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because your heart has handed the matter back to Allah. You realize that you are not in control, and that realization brings peace. If something requires you to constantly push, chase, and compromise your dignity after istikhara, that is not ease. Allah does not guide you by draining you. He does not bring goodness wrapped in humiliation or desperation. When it is written, you move forward with grace, not exhaustion. Even difficulties that come feel manageable because Allah gives you the strength to face them. Sometimes ease shows itself through closure. A conversation ends, a door shuts, a plan collapses, and instead of feeling destroyed, you feel strangely relieved. That is also an answer. Allah is removing what would have weighed your heart down in the long run. The believer understands that unanswered du'a are not rejection, they are redirection. Another powerful sign is that when something is meant for you, your reliance on Allah increases, not your attachment to people. You find yourself praying more, not less. You seek Allah's approval over human approval. Your heart becomes stable because it knows the one who controls all hearts is watching over you. So trust the process of istikhara. Make du'a with sincerity, then step back and allow Allah to lead. Do not rush outcomes or fear delays. What is written for you will reach you at the right time in the right way without destroying your peace. And what passes you by was never meant to stay. Remember Allah. His guidance does not shout. It whispers through ease, patience, and clarity. And when the right person is near, Allah removes unnecessary struggle and replaces it with a path that feels light, dignified, and full of wisdom. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the clearest signs that someone is a blessing from Allah is the effect they have on your relationship with Him. When the right person is near, they do not compete with Allah for space in your heart. They do not make you feel that you must choose between love and obedience, between companionship and faith. Instead, they become a means through which your iman grows stronger, your awareness of Allah deepens, and your desire to do good increases. When a person is right for you, you notice subtle changes within yourself. You become more mindful of your prayers, not because you are being watched, but because your heart feels lighter. You are more conscious of your words, your behavior, and your intentions. You feel encouraged to improve, not pressured or judged. This is because Allah places barakah in relationships that are built upon sincerity and respect for His limits. A relationship that pulls you away from Allah will always begin by asking you to compromise just a little. Miss this prayer. Hide this conversation, delay repentance, cross this boundary, and we will make tawbah later. But anything that starts by weakening your connection with Allah will eventually weaken your heart. Love that requires disobedience is never a gift. It is a test, and often a painful one. When the right person is near, your conscience becomes more alive, not more numb. You feel supported in doing what is right, even when it is difficult. There is mutual encouragement toward patience, modesty, honesty, and reliance upon Allah. You are reminded of Allah not only in words, but through actions. Even silence with such a person feels safe and clean because it is not filled with guilt. You also notice that your dua changes. Instead of asking Allah to overlook your sins, you ask Him to bless what is halal and pure. You stop hiding parts of your life from Allah in your prayers. There is transparency between you and your Lord. That openness is a sign of spiritual health, and it is not possible when you are deeply attached to something that displeases Him. Another sign is that you are not afraid of losing your faith to keep the person. Your values are respected. Your boundaries are honored. You are not mocked for your beliefs or made to feel too religious. The right person does not water down your iman. They protect it. They may not be perfect, but they are sincere, and sincerity carries weight with Allah. It's important to understand that growing in faith does not mean becoming flawless. It means becoming more aware. The right person helps you become more conscious of Allah in both ease and hardship. When challenges arise, you turn to du'a together, or at least you are not discouraged from it. You are reminded that Allah is the source of peace, not the person themselves. Many people fear that choosing Allah will cost them love. In reality, choosing Allah feeds love. What remains is deeper, purer, and more stable. When Allah is at the center, hearts align naturally. And when Allah is removed, even the strongest emotions eventually collapse under the weight of guilt and regret. So ask yourself, does this person bring me closer to Allah or further away? Do I become a better servant of Allah, or do I find myself constantly seeking excuses? The answer is often already in your actions. Because when the right person is near, your path to Allah becomes clearer, your heart becomes softer, and your faith becomes stronger. And that is a sign no believer should ever ignore. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most overlooked signs that Allah is guiding you toward the right person is the presence of clarity without compromise. When something is written for you, it does not demand that you sacrifice your principles, your dignity, or your relationship with Allah in order to make it work. What is truly meant for you will fit into your life without forcing you to become someone you are not. Many people today believe that love requires sacrifice at any cost. They slowly adjust their values, silence their conscience, and justify actions they once knew were wrong. They convince themselves that compromise is maturity. But there is a difference between patience and self-betrayal. Allah never guides you through guilt. If a relationship consistently requires you to ignore your moral compass, hide the truth, or live a double life, then clarity is absent, no matter how strong the emotions feel. When the right person is near, you do not feel torn between what your heart wants and what your faith demands. There is alignment. You are not constantly explaining away red flags or making excuses for behavior that unsettles your soul. You are not lying to your parents, your family, or even yourself. There is openness, transparency, and dignity. You can stand by your choices without shame because they are not built on secrecy. Clarity also shows itself in communication. You are not guessing where you stand. You are not confused by mixed signals or vague promises. The intentions are known, even if the path is still unfolding. You may not have every detail figured out, but you have honesty. And honesty removes anxiety. Allah places peace in truth even when truth is difficult. Another sign of clarity without compromise is that your boundaries are respected. You are not pressured to move faster than you are comfortable with. You are not made to feel guilty for wanting to do things the right way. The right person understands that what is protected by Allah lasts longer. They do not rush you into sin and then call it love. They honor your limits because they honor the one who set them. This clarity also protects your self-worth. You are not shrinking yourself to remain accepted. You do not feel the need to constantly prove your value or fear being replaced. You are appreciated for who you are, not tolerated for what you provide. Allah does not tie your worth to another human being, He ties it to your taqwa. When someone aligns with that truth, they bring stability into your life. Sometimes people fear that holding on to principles will cause them to lose someone they care about. But what leaves because of your obedience to Allah was never meant to stay. What is written will not be scared away by righteousness. In fact, Allah places barakah in relationships that begin and continue with honesty and restraint. Understand this clearly. Confusion thrives where compromise exists. The more you abandon your values, the more anxious your heart becomes. But when you stand firm, even if the outcome is uncertain, your heart remains light. That lightness is not arrogance, it is contentment with Allah's decree. So, do not be afraid to choose clarity over chaos, dignity over desire, and obedience over attachment. When the right person is near, you will not feel forced to dim your faith or silence your conscience. Allah will make the path clear, and you will walk it without losing yourself along the way. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest misconceptions about love today is that intensity equals sincerity. People think that emotional highs and lows, constant arguments followed by dramatic apologies and unpredictable behavior are signs of deep connection. But Islam teaches us something far more beautiful and far more stable. What comes from Allah is consistent. What is healthy is steady. When the right person is near, drama begins to fade and consistency takes its place. Consistency means that you are not constantly questioning someone's intentions. You are not waking up every day wondering which version of them you will encounter. Their words match their actions. Their presence is not dependent on mood, convenience, or personal gain. This reliability brings emotional safety, and emotional safety brings peace to the heart. Allah does not bless chaos, He blesses balance. When a relationship is right, it does not drain you. You are not exhausted from overthinking every message, tone, or silence. You are not stuck in cycles of attachment and disappointment. Instead, there is predictability in the best sense. You know where you stand, you know what to expect. And that stability allows your heart to rest. Rest is a mercy many people do not realize they are missing until they experience it. Drama thrives in uncertainty. When intentions are unclear, emotions swing wildly. One moment there is closeness, the next there is distance. This creates addiction, not love. The heart becomes attached to the highs because it is starving during the lows. But Allah does not nurture hearts through emotional starvation. He nurtures them through security. Consistency also shows itself in respect. The right person does not disappear when things become difficult. They do not withdraw affection as a form of control. They do not use silence as punishment. Instead, they remain present even in disagreement. Differences are handled with maturity, not manipulation. This kind of behavior reflects character, and character is more valuable than charm. It is important to understand that consistency does not mean perfection. People will make mistakes, words may be spoken in anger, misunderstandings will occur, but the difference is in accountability. The right person takes responsibility, seeks forgiveness, and makes effort to improve. There is growth, not repetition of the same pain. Allah places barakah in effort that is sincere. Many people stay in unstable relationships because they fear boredom. They think peace means lack of passion. But peace is not emptiness. Peace is fullness without anxiety. It is laughter without fear of loss. It is closeness without insecurity. Passion that requires emotional damage is not a blessing. It is a test. When Allah sends the right person, you do not have to chase consistency. You do not have to beg for effort or remind them of your worth. What is written flows naturally. You are met halfway. And even when circumstances delay progress, intentions remain firm. That firmness is reassuring. So ask yourself, does this connection bring calm or constant tension? Do you feel emotionally safe, or are you always bracing for disappointment? Allah gives signs through patterns, not promises. Consistency is one of those signs. Choose stability over chaos, maturity over intensity, and peace over performance. Because when the right person is near, Allah replaces emotional drama with quiet strength. And that quiet strength carries more blessing than any loud declaration ever could. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most subtle yet powerful signs that Allah is guiding you toward the right person is the way support begins to appear from directions you never expected. When something is written for you, Allah does not leave you to struggle alone. He aligns hearts, circumstances, and moments in ways that could never be planned by human effort. What once felt impossible suddenly feels manageable, and what once seemed blocked begins to open. Sometimes this support comes through people. A parent who was once hesitant becomes understanding. A friend speaks words that settle your heart, even though they do not know the full story. A mentor offers advice at exactly the right moment. These are not coincidences. Allah uses His creation to guide you, protect you, and reassure you. He places wisdom on tongues you least expect, reminding you that He is in control of every heart. At other times, support comes through circumstances. Timings align without struggle. Necessary resources become available. Delays turn into advantages. You find yourself protected from decisions that could have harmed you. Even challenges begin to serve a purpose, teaching you patience, strengthening your character, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Allah does not remove every difficulty, but He makes the burden lighter when the path is right. When the right person is near, you also notice that you are not constantly defending your choices. You are not isolated or cut off from those who care about you. Instead, there is gradual acceptance. Even if everyone does not fully understand immediately, there is less resistance over time. Allah softens hearts when something carries goodness because He is the turner of hearts. Another sign is that your own heart feels supported by Allah. You are not overwhelmed by fear of the future. You trust that outcomes will unfold as they should. This trust is not naivety, it is tawakkul. You take responsible steps, but you do not panic. You know that if Allah is facilitating the path, He will also protect you along it. Sometimes Allah's support shows itself by removing obstacles rather than adding blessings. A distraction fades away. A harmful option closes. A tempting shortcut disappears. At first you may feel disappointed, but later you realize that you are being safeguarded. Allah's protection often looks like loss before it looks like gain. It is important to remember that not every form of support will be obvious or immediate. Some help comes quietly, some comes later. But when you look back, you see a pattern of mercy. Doors that closed saved you from harm. Doors that opened led you toward peace. And throughout it all, you were never abandoned. So do not underestimate the signs Allah places around you. Pay attention to the ease, the alignment, and the unexpected help. These are whispers of divine guidance. When Allah supports something, it does not require you to destroy yourself to reach it. He carries you through it with wisdom and care. Trust that if the right person is near, Allah will not only guide your heart, but also arrange the world around you to support that guidance. And when you see that support appearing in ways you never imagined, know that it is Allah saying, you are not walking this path alone. My beloved brothers and sisters, as we reflect on all these signs, understand that Allah's guidance is never random and never cruel. When the right person is near, Allah does not confuse your heart, weaken your faith, or strip you of your dignity. He brings peace where there was restlessness, ease where there was struggle, and clarity where there was doubt. He strengthens your relationship with Him, protects your values, replaces chaos with stability, and surrounds you with support from directions you never expected. If you find yourself constantly anxious, spiritually distant, or forced to compromise who you are, then pause and reassess. Allah is merciful, and His mercy often appears as redirection. What is meant for you will not require you to lose yourself, disobey your Lord, or live in constant fear of loss. What is written will arrive with tranquility and remain with barakah. So place your trust fully in Allah. Make sincere du'a, Pray Istikhara and walk forward with patience and dignity. Do not chase what unsettles your heart, and do not mourn what Allah removes from your path. Every delay, every closed door, and every moment of clarity is part of His wisdom. May Allah grant us relationships that draw us closer to Him, hearts that recognize His signs, and the strength to let go of what is not written for us. And may He unite us only with what brings peace in this world and success in the hereafter. Ameen.